and give thanks to the Almighty Creator for life. Give thanks to the Almighty Creator for the ability to see another day. We thank Him for Trinidad and Tobago as well. We thank Him for the space that we have been blessed with, that we are responsible for, and we commit ourselves to doing what we should, to do the best for our Twin Island Republic and for our fellow man. Right? Melanie Hudson underscores that in her song. I think that one should be compulsory for our young people to listen to as well. It is profound. It encapsulates so much of the virtue that is essential for us to become a successful nation, for us to be successful people, not in just the myopic, small, selfish, personal aspect of it, but as a people. And we continue to face tremendous challenges because we neglect that love that we are supposed to share. We have strayed far from organizing our society in a way and our culture in a way where we continue to embody the love that is necessary for human beings to thrive and to live in peace, right, and to prosper collectively. We're really missing some essential ingredients in our national space. In particular, obviously, that element of love for one another. So we see a continuation of certain challenges of violence and crime. And a caller yesterday would have mentioned not the issue so much, because sometimes people are not focused on what the issue is and the pain and the hurt from it. But it was brought across in a manner in which, it's not being focused on because they feel as though politically it should be used against this current administration. That's not a way, or that's not a place that concern should be born out of. But it exists in the minds, and sometimes it goes even deeper to the hearts of some of our citizens, right? But I do recognize that there is a continual problem with crime and violence in Trinidad and Tobago, and that even over the past week plus, there's been, some increases and some really heart-wrenching acts of violence that bothers us all. And it is the continual rewards that we reap of sowing bad seeds, of putting too much greed, too much neglect, too much ignorance, too much violence, and too little love, too little care, too little sharing, too little direction and leadership into our society, right? And it is a continual problem that we have had and we continue to have. And that acknowledgement is essential. The continued effort to try to deal with those issues is also essential. So far, there has been an approach towards the issue that has had a certain level of success, but other efforts have to be made. And I hope is the first word, and expect is another word, I hope and I also expect other measures to come. There are other measures that will help to ease the situation that we face as a country. And I look forward to even assisting greater. I try my best at this point in time, but to assisting in an even greater way to try to bring about the conditions that will see human beings come back from that place of real ignorance. You know, some situation that took place in Brasso, there's speculation as to why the act of violence, which saw the death of one individual and the shooting of some young individuals as well. But, you know, we need to really reach a place where those things are in the past. You know, even in the activities of man, of human beings, let us not get involved in the dishonesty. The dishonesty that brings about the demise and the violence. You take something that belongs to someone and they seek recourse through some violent means. Let us stop that. There's too much tricky daddians, too much people who feel they could take advantage of, and as though they don't realize and recognize that there are consequences. You know, even to those people who engage, make sense. Understand that you giving up your life as well as somebody carrying out their act. Because time, it will come back to you if you go and you just indiscriminately shoot or whoever, everybody, you know. There's a level of ignorance existing in our society that we should not have allowed to even take root or exist. We should have paid attention to our children. We should have sown seeds of greater love within our spaces, within our schools. We should have paid more attention. We should not have taken advantage of the parents who then neglect the children for just for time, for whatever else, to survive. And the best time to correct a problem, if we have left a problem, is today. And we have left problems in our society that are going to continue to give us death, destruction. In the heart of Port of Spain, in one of the smaller malls, East Side Mall, you know, an individual shot to death. I mean, in the middle of our spaces, our city, I know what is wrong. I mean, we could outline it. But we need to fix the problems now. Morning, brother. Welcome. Yeah, we need to fix those problems now. So I acknowledge yesterday the caller, even though they calling from wherever place they calling from, they calling from nobody talking about it now, and they used to talk about it and it was such a big... Alright, I understand where you're going with that. Good morning, caller.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. May peace and Allah blessing be upon your crowd.
Yeah, just turn off the radio. I just getting a little feedback there. But peace and blessings to you as well.
Yeah. And the guy said the computer on them couple song there. I see you acknowledge it.
Yeah. The computer was running before.
Yeah, it was. I didn't say disrespect, but to study the message selling in the morning is a serious message to the young children. He's sending our boy to make them to understand. And forward, your boy who was saying he was drinking and driving on the white line, right? He said that the prime minister didn't do nothing for the pension, right? But remember she take the tax off of the pension.
Yeah, off of private pensions, which people really appreciated as well.
Okay. And the normal pension too. Remember she take the VAT off goods, so they will benefit something. They at least going forward now.
Yeah, and listen, to be real, we have always seen those indications from this prime minister in particular. If better can be done, if we can move ourselves out of the economic problem that we are in, then we may see a further easing of conditions on us. But the reality is at this point as well that we come out of a hard period, and economically Trinidad and Tobago is in a challenging period of time as well.
And I get she hats off to it back because she tried to touch the most vulnerable people in this budget still.
Yeah.
To stimulate the economy and to and to move forward. And the killing what Mr. Martin say yesterday. Remember just last year it had set a killing where certain brothers lost their brothers, certain mothers lost their son. And it got be spilling over until now. It's not like it just done because she come into office. Man go see their enemy and try to reach them and send them home still.
Yeah.
Even self 2-3 years after, right? A man send home my brethren. When I see a man 2-3 years after, I could send home that man too. I ain't talking about me now, I talking about individual now, boy, you understand?
Yeah.
And we can't blame you. Yeah, maybe 6 months after, a year, 2 years, a man might catch you boy, get a phone call. Hey, look a man who send home me brother, look here by a mall or by somewhere. And they pull up on him. And that reoccurrence could have happened 3 years ago. And it spill over back here.
Yeah.
And it's 600 mother she inherited forward.
Yeah, six in 1 year for 10 years.
Yeah, and in 1 year. So that's 600 men, right? Seeing them 600 men now, what is going on? They rather send them home because that's the intention they have. You understand?
Yeah.
Kingsley make a healthy contribution for yesterday, right? And this fella here, Chris. Yeah. And it has something good that you're doing that we reaching the brethren and them. So hats off to you forward and keep the fighting, brother. Bless, right?
Yeah, blessings, brother. Thanks. Yeah, there's a continuation of pain, of vengeance, of anger that flows through our land as well. There are wrongs that have not been put right as well, and those things are continual. So there has to be a real effort as well to sit down with parties to try to bring an end to what took place in the past, to end the cycle, to make amends, and to reach accords of peace, because it profits no one to continue along that cycle over and over and over. So it is an immense task. We are in still this special period where measures are afforded to the police, etc., to take actions that are extraordinary without certain protections to the public's freedom, etc. And we have to move out of that period at some point in time as well. So all that can be done to fix those issues has to be done. Morning, brother. Welcome.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, brother.
Boy, after yesterday, I did some soul searching. And I regret to inform you from today, I'm going into retirement.
You're going into retirement?
I'm going into retirement. Because, like Trinidadians, I don't know, like they ain't getting it, boy. They ain't getting it. You know, and then I listened to somebody call us yesterday, especially one who claiming he's so supporting the UNC, but he's a voice crying out in the wilderness for help under the same UNC that he's saying he's going on 100% with.
Right.
As I say, it's 75% right now, because not everything in the budget I agree with. And we're saying when UNC win, everybody win. I ain't seeing pensioners winning. I ain't seeing motorists winning. And I ain't seeing Trinidad winning, whereas the 1% taking over the West. And a lot of different things, right? And I feel that, you know, I feel at my age now, better I leave it to the young, able body to fight up with that situation. Because things like I be suggesting, like looking for a third party from now, people ain't looking in that direction. Because they feel if they support PNM, there's a PNM till they're dead. And if they support UNC, there's a UNC till they're dead. So they're keeping the country backward. They don't want to go forward. They're keeping the country backward. And I think, like, Farid, you see them vending thing going on in town there? You know who is responsible for vendors selling it in town today? Me and Gladiator. We took the government to court. I fight many battles with the government. So when people coming out and talking about either PNM, that has hurt me to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I feel that, you know, I feel that I'm bigger than that. I'm not rich. I'm not hand to mouth. And I also have a trade. And I'm very good at my trade. So I feel, you know, better I just, you know, enjoy my retirement. When I wake up in the morning, anything I feel to do, I do. If I feel to stay naked in the house whole day, nobody to question me. If I feel to cook wherever I feel to do, and when I get fed up at Trinidad, I fly out and come back. Let me continue. Just make sure when I go in the bank on a mountain, my kakada, my little crumbs in my account. Right? So I think I'm taking a little leave. Let the young, able bobbleheads and them fight up with what we're going on in the country. Have a blessed morning.
Yeah, morning. Nah, don't go nowhere. Take back that. Change your mind. We want you to continue.
I will think about it, but right now I'm 100% in retirement.
All right.
But I will think about it.
Blessings, right. Yeah, brother. Yeah. And listen, I have no problem. There can never be a budget that you totally, if you look at it from a perspective of just getting, that you will totally say we only got things, especially in this economic climate. There are people who will not be able to get a goodie or an increase or a benefit at this point in time. That's the reality. And there are also measures that had to be put in place to bring in revenue through even taxation as well. And nobody likes taxation. I don't think anybody wants less in their pockets. But the reality of our fiscal situation is that there needed to be measures, and the effort was made to take measures that are much less than were previously placed on us. We got away from. They freed us from more, and in certain circumstances they've placed collectively as a people, they've placed less on us. So we have to understand that they've taken some brave positions as well in terms of NIS and really dealing with it now, which responsible commentators have lauded, have said, hey, this is a real brave, good thing to do as a government, but which obviously as well, is not the most pleasing thing to see. Is not pleasing to understand for some people that pension push back, right? The system seemed to have been given some trouble. I reset, but I'm not seeing the ads, so we'll go through the ads as well. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning. The topic is really about the budget, right?
Yeah, we continue to discuss the budget as well, but current affairs in general. Feel free.
Yeah, well, current affairs, right? I find that the government agents pursue and they keep thumping and balling when everybody win, right? I find those who in office, like in position, then they are very unfair, and they keep, victimizing persons and discriminating against persons because you may not like this. It's not that you're against the government, you do not like certain things, and you want these things addressed, and they don't want to address it because here what when they only see one thing. They only see the party or who they support. And that is a wrong thing.
Yeah.
Understand? That is a wrong thing.
Yeah, that exists. There are people who think that
way. The current, affairs right now, the current affairs. And that affecting the whole country in all the workplace, all the government agencies or ministries or whatever. It's affecting that. Because it's victimization left, right, and center from the time you say something, right, that they don't like. That is my contribution this morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. No problem. And that's a reality, right? There are people who their train of support of whatever political entity is utmost and most important, and they can't see wrong at all, and they are not fair in their judgment when there may be things that are not really satisfactory or best for Trinidad and Tobago, and that exists on both sides, right? If there's an issue that comes up, if there's a shortcoming of government, or there are policies that have been advanced that we do not agree with, then we should speak out against them, right? These are proposals as well for the way that our finance is going to be run. It is projections, and therefore at this stage is when we discuss these issues, and if we do not agree with them, we make that effort to express it so that we can have some type of change to it, instead of being subjected to those to those policies that they put in place, right? And I want to pride this program in particular, and other programs as well, for having that element as well of sense and fairness, right? Yes, of course, personally, there was an absolute preference for this administration over the last. I mean, I think even people who support Red or whatever, many of them had a preference to see the end of that as well, that era. But that does not confine me or confine us to a position where we cannot discuss issues that we do not like in our country. It does not do that. It does not confine us to agree with every single policy or action that this administration takes. And I mean, an absolute example of that is the fact that we may not enjoy what is taking place in our, just outside of our waters. We may not enjoy what is taking place and the actions of this current, not just this current, all even previous US administrations and their policies towards other countries, etc. Many people, you can't enjoy it from a fair perspective. It doesn't respect sovereignty, it doesn't respect life, it doesn't respect the furtherance and the prosperity of other people. But we tolerate and we understand the diplomatic position that has to be taken sometimes by administrations. And we are fortunate, I've said it before. So when we wake up this morning, and the news was shared last night as well, about 2 Trinbagonians potentially being killed by these, what Trump calling them, lethal kinetic strikes. When I tell you, I was wondering if yesterday I was listening to his address of the Israeli parliament, and I was wondering if it was AI somebody making statements and pretending that they were from Trump, because they were so ridiculously rooted in ignorance. See the choice of words there, being careful. They were so terrible, the statements that were being made. I wondered if it was real. I wondered if even somebody as loose as Mr. Trump was making those statements. That's how bad it was. Good morning, brother. Welcome.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hi there, man. And you?
By the grace of God.
Yeah, man.
Well, I see US reaching in Grenada, right?
They reach in Grenada? I know there was talk about it.
I mean, now reaching Grenada, they send some officials on inside the country to the satellite and things like that.
Okay, they sent officials to try to convince them.
Yeah, so done inside because Grenada they done tell them no already.
Yeah.
They don't say no, but like the answer they give to Trump didn't like it, so he sent officials on inside it.
Okay.
So we go here now about that just now.
Yeah.
When we suffer on two say the hike in electricity when the last regime that they wanted to do that, but they had consultation around Trinidad and Tobago to hear what the citizen had to say on it concerning the hike.
Yeah.
But you see MPs that came to some of these consultations, people like Mr. Pallara, people like Mr. Anna Roberts, they came in, and as a matter of fact, they disrupted because there were some TNT people that came in, that the PNM brought in to explain to the people how the rate will go and so on. And some of these meetings stopped because of, and with Mr. Pallara and Mr. Anna Roberts, and it even had Mr. I think it's Rat, and they disrupted most of the meetings. So here it is now, the hypocrisy of it now, that's something that they in consultation and divided, they are now doing it. And this is the hypocrisy. I cannot take against something, you gain something. You fight against it, but now that you're in power, you're accepting it. And I can't understand the hypocrisy with it. The other thing is really the merit points. You came into power, you easily stopped it. Since she stopped that, Mrs. Kamala Possessor stopped that merit point, there were a lot of taking place over the place, as only accidents. But lo and behold, you replace with bad driving. And with the bad to bring revenue in, and with the bad driving now, if somebody is caught doing bad driving, $15,000. $15,000, Mr. Fuad?
Yeah.
I mean, I could understand now, under the PNM, they were, with the merit points, they were probably the case, maybe you might have been banned for a year, a couple of. The 15,000, now, Mr. Fuad, I know that there are some wicked police officers outside here, and I know that a lot of people have a lot of good officers. It's people who I know, Mr. Fuad, who got tickets from police officers who they saying that was phoning them with a girl. They were talking about some of the wicked police officers. I told. Let me. I will end on that point because that's something I want to say, but I'd rather not say. But I know that we are taking advantage of this, giving you tickets, $15,000, which some of the places do. So I understand it's a deterrent, but Mr. Fuad, I find very, very harsh. It's very, very harsh. So I'm trying to understand where the government going with this.
Yeah, I will look into it, but I don't think those are fixed penalties. I think those are what can be leveled against you from the court. So it gives you a certain level of protection from people who, and officers who, yes, take advantage of individuals. It's not a matter of a police officer stopping you and being able to give you a penalty of $15,000 for reckless driving or for driving under the influence, and the lesser one $5,000 for driving without a permit. Good morning, Mr. West. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Fuad. Mr. Fuad, there's an old saying, and it's part of our life. It says that wise men change their mind, fools never do.
Yeah.
And if something is not working for you, you don't go on with it. You have that right to change your mind, to say, I'm not doing this or not going here. And government, as a matter of fact, I said it before and I heard it mentioned by a lot of wise people. It's like a relay. And if a government gets into office and a previous government had activated or actioned certain policies, and they believe that some aspect of it is not in the interest of the people, they may abandon it. And there are other measures which they may have condemned it. But they may say, oh, look, listen, this aspect of it is good, and therefore I'm going to continue with it. This attitude of this one is say that, and this one hypocrisy, and get on with the job. You don't hear sensible people talking this nonsense. I listen to Barbados. I listen to all over the place. People don't. You cannot build a country by people behaving like children. John did take milk. John went and put your hand in with this and that and all kind of foolishness. Where do you have a country to build or to rebuild? People have to get over those nonsense. This is what a government needs: people who are mature in thinking, you know. In terms of people who are mature in thinking and people who are committed to advancing the cause of the nation. I want you to say that, and they want to say this, and they want to say, no, we need to get beyond that. You don't build a country on that. Yes, people have what government say. You have to be critical of the things they do. You have to be constructive in your criticism. I am not a member of any political. I've never been. But my interest is the progress of this country, because I said it before. If things go badly in this country, I am affected. My family is affected. Are affected. My neighbor, the whole community. So I have an interest in seeing this country advance, not engaging in negative, what do you call it, negativism. I am not on that. Because I've grown, I've lived here, and I've seen what has happened to this country. This country has been, prevented from going forward because of nonsense, because of people not thinking. And I always believe that over the years, if the radio stations were in fact free and open to people to speak and express their views and whatnot, this might have been a better country.
Yeah.
Because, and I support that. I may not agree with what you say, but I respect your right to say. I believe in freedom of speech. You say what you have to say, I say what I have to say, and based on our articulation, it may mean that we may reach consensus. But I don't have to, you have that right. We don't live in a country where you have a cult, or where you have groupthink, that everybody has to, you just imagine a country where everybody thinking the same way. What kind of country is it? You live in a house, the husband thinking the same way, the wife, the children, everybody, the grandmother, everybody thinking the same way. You can't progress. You need ideas. You need people coming up with different, you need what you call, Hegel used to call the dialectic struggle. Ideas, competing ideas. So people have to be being kept in that mire, that hole for too long. People have to raise their level of consciousness and thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't want to take too much of that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I understand that point as well, Mr. West. But I also understand what the caller before would have said. I will also understand the optics of it in trying to reconcile if people who are, when in opposition, challenge certain things, but then when they are not too long after in positions of government, they change the actual positions that they have, and they implement law and provisions that are contrary to what they previously spoke about. And there are distinctions with what has been done. So that is not exactly the case. Yes, in essence, there are some things that are similar, that similar change of tongue, so to speak, but there are distinct differences as well. And for example, the easiest of the two, because the other one is even heavier, but the easier of the two in terms of these two increases in monetary fines charges that are possible, and the introduction of this $5,000 penalty for driving without license. These are specific, very, very grievous charges that cause loss of life, and the ill of it is what they are trying to curtail. So it is very, very specific circumstances. I understand the difficulty in terms of officers who take advantage of others, and you may have a specific situation as well, caller, which I have experienced bias and ignorance from officers, and subsequently been able to clarify those issues in the courts. So I understand where you're coming from, but it is not the same as the wide avenue of demerit points which caused the loss of licenses for thousands of individuals, which clearly did not work and was not working in the best interests of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, right? So there are clear distinctions in that particular matter. Likewise, even with the introduction of this additional surcharge for commercial and industrial customers, there is that effort to go to those who are in this business aspect of it first, and to ask from them smaller increases than were tabled before, right? Because it's 0.05 per kilowatt, right? The surcharge on commercial and industrial customers. And yes, there's also that understanding that there is the likelihood of trickle down, but it is way less than what was proposed before. It is born out of an understanding that continuing as is will not work, and still an understanding that we don't want the customer himself, private customer, to face it in totality. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Good morning to you, my brother.
Hey, welcome, brother.
What I have to say, if the citizens of a country is thinking the same way, we will go forward. You know why? We will be addressing wrong and looking to make things right. You understand? Because of a community of white men, you don't need no police and nobody to watch them and no criminal coming out of a village of white men. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Everybody think the same way to address wrong. You understand? Whether you're supporting either party, but the citizens be thinking the same way, we will go forward because all politicians, they're thinking the same way, to oppress the citizens, to feed all the citizens, to run the blood, to run the blood into water just to work for them, for their benefit. And the country cannot go forward too, because, you understand? But if the citizens now think the same way, we will go forward. So I was seeing the last caller saying about the house thinking the same way, not really thinking nothing will happen. You understand? The train, if the train, all right. Look, for example, this place in Africa, back in Opaco, everybody thinking the same way. They want to see the country go forward, you understand? And they're supporting the brother who really showing the world. He's showing the leaders, he's showing the pastors, he's showing the mother, he's showing the father, he's showing children how to live. You understand? Because I believe that he opened a covenant with God of justice, a justice covenant with God. You understand? He's showing the earth what justice is like. You understand? How to live with people. Because we don't really know, so what's going on in life, we are going to study 10 commandments and feel like that is the law of God. The law of God is honesty, loyalty, trust, respect. You understand? And these qualities, that is the law of God. That is what God is. Justice is the main one.
Yeah.
And people are just holding 10 commandments and say, that's the 10 commandments, that is commandment. But the law
Boy,
of God.
you're sure people that study them 10 commandments, even them 10 commandments, they don't study nowadays.
Yeah, you understand? But the law, the real law of God is the quality, you put your honesty, loyalty, trust, respect, all these things. God wants to see the virtue. You want to be virtuous and noble. You understand? And everything around the thing. But the killing now, I'm going to jump on the killing and the gang thing now. So what's going on? You see guns, people who holding the guns, then it's the guarded territory. Plus, the bosses have paid people to protect the guns. You understand where I'm coming from?
Mm.
Yes, it have different big boys who are in star, and they have a territory where they getting paid to protect. Because I can't see like this one with Christmas. Christmas bring concrete information for all you and all the rest of them. And show me and teach them why they do that. Because certain names was in the information. Because these fellas are them in the ghetto with guns. When I hear them talking, them just let them say who they have in the pocket, you know. Who are in star and have them in the pocket and all. They don't doing. Why are you walking with them big gun? How these police and them not harassing all you? Well, we have them we are constantly pocket and carry and they will call names. That's why they arrest Chris one.
Yeah.
This is why the killing is still going on.
Yeah. And some of them, it has been alleged, working for those with the stars. So some of the bosses have on stars now and business people. So,
You understand?
yeah, it makes up.
Yeah, them guarding the boss territory and process of people guarding them in a sense that protecting like you. It comes with paying insurance for your gun then. I don't want no my gun and them lost. So I'm sure you can't come and keep my gun and other pay for it in court. They don't want that. What's wrong? This thing's so deep that people don't understand what's going on. It's just the man killing and this and that, but it's deep. Why you feel that stopping? Everything can stop. Everything have a solution. Everything have a solution. A beginning and an end. Everything.
Yeah.
You understand? And we have a lot of problems in this country. But if we work on one problem honestly, you understand? You will solve a problem. Then you will start to go forward. But we have to be thinking together. My friend, you know what God is.
You too as well. Blessings. Yeah. There will be differences in opinions as to how we can achieve something, but the overall goal should be the same. And that overall goal in our minds is not the same for everybody. We have some problems in coordinating our thoughts about where we want to go collectively as a people. Good morning, brother. Welcome.
Hey, morning, brother. Morning to you, listeners. Love and respect every time. You know, I hear you talk about the trickle down forward, but me, I have taken a position that I am not going to entertain that kind of foolish discussion at this time. I just listened to an interview with the finance minister, and I will leave him to deal with that type of rubbish talk and narrative that keeps coming from certain types of people, because is it that we wanted a budget like what we previously experienced, so there will be no guessing but a guarantee of hardship coming?
Yeah, direct upon the lowest level of the society. Yeah.
And the thing is, the way how these new taxes are structured, right? If they want to pass it on, they will have a greater portion of taxes to pay, because you want to raise your rent, you will have to pay more in your 3.5 will be more than the person who don't raise the rent. And the thing about it is, we as the citizenry have to do our part. If you can come to the conclusion that whoever it is receiving your hard-earned money for whatever service they are offering you, whether you're renting from them or whatever, if you determine that they are greedy, it's time for you to start looking for somewhere else to rent.
Yeah, that's the option available.
Yes, that is the part we now have to play.
Yeah.
To keep them in check. And it's the same with the banks. If you find the banks don't want to absorb that 0.25% in taxes, while every quarter is over $1 billion and change they enjoying in profits, then do the needful.
Yeah.
Close your account and take it somewhere else.
Yeah, and the government as well is a heavy shareholder in a couple of these banks as well, and I hope that through their directorship they can ensure that charges and other things are not increased excessively either, because that would assist the population as well. We already, as they have outlined, we are already facing high charge for everything. You leave money in the bank, it's gone, and you ain't even using the service. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I say, I am not going to overwork or overload the government and expect them to do everything. We have a responsibility to be smart, to make wise decisions. How long are we going to allow ourselves and our finances to be abused by greedy people? So you're just going to stay there and accept what your landlord is dishing out at you?
Yeah.
And it is unfair. find somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
Who want to go and take the rubbish from a landlord because they can afford it, that is them, and leave them, and you sort out your life and make wise decisions, right? But we have to play our part.
Yes, as consumers, as customers, we do need to be strong in dealing with this issue. If you cannot afford something and it is a substantial increase being put to you, and you have to be able to also try and do the maths and see what could be reasonable from a landlord, and if it is not, and if you cannot afford, well, then you have to find other measures, and it's challenging at times, but you know that it may come. Start from now. And the more people that do that, I understand, and I agree with your brother, is the more that landlords will understand, hey, I had to absorb some of this or all of this.
Of course, because it is not a great new introduction of tax on you. It is, as the minister said, to spread the burden or the load that must be carried. It cannot be it cannot be that people who so adamant and in support of whatever the PNM does is still wanting to call this property tax. This is in a whole different category.
Yeah.
This is, once you are earning income, you are supposed to be paying taxes, right? They had the BIR staff at 30%, so it was shortened of 70% of staff, right? And they were unable to perform at capacity, right? The government just introduced a measure that says, here we're going on. You are making money on your property by renting it out or whatever. You are now being asked to pay a tax. And the tax is not a heavy tax. It's a little bit of money. And if you are not making any money on your property, then you won't be taxed.
Yeah, I hope people can understand the marked difference in policy as well. And I hope the minister has, explained it. And I'm sure in the discussions it could be explained. We have moved from a point where you just have a house where you living in, you haven't been able to even repair it, nothing, whatever, and they charge us, and you have to come and you have to pay it. We have moved from that to a point where it is only if you have a landlord and you're earning from it that you have to pay something. That is totally, Trinidad and Tobago, that is totally different. That's two totally different positions.
Correct. And before I go, all who have been challenged with maths, all you could lock on when the debate is going on and allow Mr. Tanku to help all you follow the maths in this. Because if you listen to Imbert, you're not going to get maths coming from these people and them. Well, I don't know what they are using, but it cannot be maths. It cannot be. You understand? And was something else I was going to say before I leave. But,
as you say that on the maths, I remember Imbert and the 9%, which he getting blasted for.
But I trying to understand who and how on the campaign trail you demonize Ms. Prasad Bisesa and the UNC for offering a promise of 10%, right?
Yeah.
But after your lost election and this budget is read, and you're shocked that they're able to offer it in this first budget after inherited what you left for them, you're trying to say, well, it's not really nothing because we offered 9. So you're telling me somebody offering 1% more than you demonize them.
IMF, sure IMF. Impossible.
Yeah, and so this, that and the other. It's impossible, right? But the 9% that you claim that you was offering,
which you lie,
right?
You never offered that. Yeah.
4% can never be 9%. And the last little thing where they come and try to think up something quick to make people believe that if they're going to give them something more than 4%. We know exactly what you all were very articulate, and vocal on all your position as to why you cannot give more than 4%. Now you're lying on platform saying that you give 9%.
Yeah.
If that's so, then you should not have no challenge with the promise of 10% because you would have been telling the people, we get 9, is 1% extra they're giving you.
Yeah.
You understand? But no, your narrative was not that. That was not your narrative. And it is becoming extremely difficult. Though I have to keep abreast of what is going on, it is becoming extremely difficult to hear people like Colm Imbert, Skeet Scotland, oh gosh, Miss Penelope Beckers. I don't know why you put yourself in that category with these bunch of idiots. And also, very disappointed Brian Manning. Like, you take nothing from your father. Nothing from your father. Just come and talk a pack of rubbish. But you think it's easy in this country and just have people who have no intelligence or do not use their intelligence, right, and only follow whatever any politician says to them that they support, that they run with that. That is what continuously has been damaging the progression or the progress that our country ought to be making. That is what is damaging us more than the actions or the ill will of politicians who are in power. Because if they are checked at every job, if you have a point and you check them, they would not be able to continue. But many of us allow them to continue by supporting the rubbish that they come to offer to us. Imagine the man talk about a 3% increase in your NIS contribution, right? And Colm Imbert reached to 45%.
To 45% of what you're paying.
What do you online? You was there. You did nothing to ease the burden of the contribution public. They just keep asking for more and more and more and more and more. And as the finance minister say, all you went in the trough head first to eat. Head first to eat. While you're telling people, cut back on macaroni pie, you tell them we got all kind of thing why they can't get what they want. I love to one, brother.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Yeah, man, welcome.
I want to say good job. You are one of the more balanced programs in the morning. And I want to touch on the tax on the landlord. And I am a landlord. I have 2 properties. And being a landlord in this climate, it is difficult because when facing the bank and you want to put up a building with about 6 apartments, they would drive you in a direction of taking a commercial lane, which most small persons like myself cannot afford. So what you do is you build and then you renovate.
Right.
And getting properties regularized, having done this, is difficult. And these are long-term investments. And I would hope that coming out of this new policy, which I am in agreement with, that all of us have to contribute going forward and pay our way, that some attention is given to regularizing and appreciating the length at which small businessmen and women who are into rentals, what they go through to help regularize these persons, acknowledge the significant investments they have made and continue to make. So I hope that some attention is paid where that is concerned, that we can get our properties regularized and move forward.
Right. And I mean, while I have you on the line, since you are a landlord as well, and that contemplation is with a number of landlords. I'm sure you're thinking how you could manage the little extra cost. And for myself as well, I'm sure many of us consider our tenants as well. So if we could not increase, we do increase. And I'm sure you might be thinking that way if you can absorb some of it as well.
Very correct. My wife and I both of us run business, and our agents have told us our prices are below market.
Right.
Right? We have below market for the place, the geographical place that we are in, and convenience that our tenants enjoy by that. You don't have to pay increased transport. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's close to the PVR and the main road is just walking distance. So a lot of our tenants don't have vehicles.
Okay, nice.
Right? And we just don't go down that road. That is not something that it is a business. It is a business. There are significant losses that we incur from time to time, right? And you just have to absorb it and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, man. Blessings.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that is the consideration for many landlords. You want to ensure that your pricing is viable for yourself and also for your tenant. I know there are some who may be a little unscrupulous or profit driven to a next level. But market forces also have to operate, so
Yeah.
renters have to do what they need to do as well. Good morning, brother. Again, welcome.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, I think Mr. Chris made a very powerful contribution this morning.
Indeed, I agree.
And, you know, it means now that the government has a task in terms of explaining to the people, the population, they have to come down to their level to explain these things to them. Because you have people who are intent, again, propaganda and all these different things, right, to disrupt the whole thing and to confuse the people. And therefore you have to come down to the people, meet the people in order to explain what is actually, more especially with respect to the NIS, because I heard a little bit of it and not what they are saying outside there. I heard about this same tax business, this Christian here said, goodly self would have explained, and the gentleman before. And I'm saying that you need to explain to those people because they believe that when they come in and they throw that monkey wrench in the ring, they confuse the people again because most people are thinking and you hear them all over the place. But I think a lot of people have developed, have grown and wanted to understand and to differentiate and to think critically in terms of the issues before them. So it is not as easy as before. But they have a task at hand. The government has a task at hand.
Communication.
To the people exactly what the policy actually, in the intent of the policy and the effect of the policy upon them. For example, we talk about the NIS. Those people who receive an NIS now, if in fact they didn't take the steps to deal with that matter, you by 2033 you know the whole thing collapsed.
Yeah, it crashed.
And all the actuary and those people telling you that.
Yeah.
And that has been in the works for many years. So people have to understand that I mean I get my NIS. The whole thing collapsed, and therefore people have to understand that, and the government has to take the time to explain to the people because you have certain forces out there who intent of confusing the people and creating mayhem and problems in this country. That is the only intent. They're not coming up with viable alternatives. I would expect them to say, well, look, listen, what you need to do, what we would have done differently. This is what people talk about 45% and this and that and all kind of nonsense. Yes, people landlord and they have to get that is income. It's not a property tax. I heard people who are in the real estate business. I heard people who are economists, accountants, and they're telling you that is not a property tax, but they insist that they must put it in the head of the people that is a property tax.
Yeah.
I listened to the night of the budget. I listened to a guy, I think it's Taku Driver. He is in terms of the, I think the oil chamber and whatnot. And he was saying, hey, listen, you see that $73 a barrel, the way it is calculated, and in terms of the natural gas, Henry Hubs and all these, he said, well, that is achievable. It could be achievable based on, and he is the expert. He is the man who is involved. He has worked with the previous government. But you come in there to propaganda, confuse the people, to rile up the people with respect to the budget. If you come, the thing about it, you could criticize, but you come with the facts, come with the truth, come with the evidence.
Yeah. Mr. West, why they didn't sit down, say that they put in place property taxing, they leave out commercial properties, they come at private individuals with a little, whatever you own, tax on that. Whatever you struggling to maintain, tax on that. Why they didn't come, sit down, tell you that, and then compare it to what is taking place?
No,
they wouldn't do that.
No, they wouldn't do that. But here what they're trying to do. Very early in the game, they were trying to leave it with the people that the property, that was property on their residence. So whether you have a house and you're not renting apartments and whatnot, you would have been affected. That is what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
You see, but it is on commercial people who, yes, you gain an income from your rent, and why you're not paying tax? I find it was novel.
Yeah.
And this one said because you're getting an income, and with all due respect to those people who construct housing for rent and whatnot in that industry, the fact remains is that that's an income, and you're not putting back anything. You're not being taxed on it. You're not putting back. So the fact remains, as I said, there's a tax on the part of the government, and they must take it seriously because that propaganda, that mischief is ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is a flip of the coin, a totally different approach to government. It is sharing of the burden by those who are in a better position. That is what it is. Understand what it is. It is in the same line with high-end vehicles over a certain value having the taxes that they have put onto it and not being exempt certain vehicles that are a luxury, a tiered system. When it reaches over a certain amount, you pay some more because you have more. It is in line with that level of thinking. It is in line with, okay, you're getting involved in commercial activity. You share in the burden. You pay the price. Not the opposite, as in who just have a old house, your mother, anything you had, they attribute a value to it and take from you. Morning, Kelsey.
Oh, for a blessed morning, my brother.
Morning.
But I am a former comrade on the next program playing a song this morning. He blessed in line for his blessings, but I will tell my blessing, they tell me hold on and trust the process.
Right.
Until what for?
He's troubling.
Well, I Stuart Young, but I remember he sell out the union in about 2 weeks before election and accept the 4%.
Yeah.
So that's why he get vote out, and this union not trying to negotiate for the 10%.
Yeah. I hear you get vote out, and I had in the last Labor Day, I make sure every single tutor official, every single tutor member say, you let to get rid of that fella boy. So clearly they agreed. Love and respect to all of our teachers, man. Blessings to our teachers.
Yeah, but I like it's particularly teachers and them, man.
Yeah.
Because when we already give them the 4%, he didn't separate. When he are not Stuart Young, he are separate because he look like him, that he brother. So he supports his brother now.
That he brother?
Yeah, they're brothers.
All right.
What I was saying now, Them MPs and them, my MPs and them now. Answer the phone now, cause I see me calling them singing. Say they're blessed. And then I'm waiting for the blessing. I'm waiting for my blessing. I will come out the camp.
All right, blessings,
Bless.
brother. Yeah. It's trouble, yes. It's a different approach. It is sharing the burden among the people who are able to achieve, a little greater income. And obviously, there is going to be some adjustment. If like the last caller, you are under market price, and when you weigh up your business and your viability, you really understand that you may have to add something. Nobody will fault you at that. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Yeah, morning, my brother. Morning.
Hey, morning. Welcome.
Yeah, calling you from Tobago.
Hey. Tobago's supposed to be smiling. That's what everybody's saying.
No, we always smiling, no? The amount of years we was on that grind.
Yeah.
We don't watch space in Tobago. If you watch our election that's happening in Tobago, we don't really watch space,
Yeah.
Because Nelson Mandela once said, he doesn't care if the cat is white or black, once it could catch mice.
Right.
You understand? So we don't really watch race, and then we just vote based on policy.
Right.
And for years, we've been struggling under this TNM regime. And every time, suddenly, you see they find the answer when they realize they're losing power. But you know what is the most disappointing thing? What is the most disappointing thing coming after this budget? Is that we're hearing people coming out and defending 1% with this rental tax.
Yeah.
They're defending them. People have to realize that, listen, you can't be wishing that Trinidad and Tobago fail. When a government fail, it's not just, if UNC fail, it's not just the UNC fail. It's the whole country fail.
Yeah.
And once, for the last 10 years, Colin Imberg been running a deficit budget, and we keep people hearing saying that it's a deficit budget, and people wait, like if they're just praying that you fall down. Where we going with that? That's not the real Trinidad and Tobago we know. The real Trinidad and Tobago we know is that, well, fellas, it's your turn now. Let me just bind together, election over. Let me see the best we could do to help the young people and them that's struggling to find a job. The young people and them that's struggling to find a meal. That is what the seniors supposed to be saying. They're not supposed to be defending who have 5 and 6 buildings, not even living in Trinidad and Tobago, but collecting rental in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Them is the people that we're not supposed to be defending them, and them is the people that the PNM supporters coming out and defending. I really disappointed in that. I know how Trinidad and Tobago used to be. So as I say, thank you for the university that you have on morning. There are certain callers that just really look forward to listening to their contribution.
Yeah.
You definitely don't see a balance in their contribution. Right? So you all have a good day, and we can't say to each his own again. We have to say, all of us, we have to be our brother's keeper.
Yeah, man. Blessings. Thank you very much, brother. Good morning.
So good morning to you.
What me leave it till late, boy? You leave it till late.
Yeah. I went back to function, so
yeah.
I write them and I listen to the program with my eye open and I sleep in that city. We get up and before.
Well, you had to give it. You had to give it quick, because we're going up to the hour. Yeah.
Let me say good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Let me say a special good morning to Tanti, Tanti calling on this program here and there's many strength sometimes. So let me say good morning to Tanti. I want to tell kids, do not worry. Everything going to be in place. Just now the ministers will answer the phone. They are preparing for parliament. I think these times they are now, most times, they'll be busy because they are doing the research. They are writing at the speech. So don't worry, KFC. I think that the UNC is on the right foot. I think today that the MPs, the ministers, are also on the right foot. So because I think they are busy at this time, and they will answer you maybe after the debate. So don't worry about that. KFC, but you don't know, you want them good. Pictures, I see with pictures with the minister, kind of thing. We call me to ask about phone, man. Don't worry, man. Things will be okay.
You studying KFC get through, boy.
You tell me KFC get through. So as he telling me, so I don't know why he calling me and giving trouble. But I'm guy in the army, man.
Yeah.
But the country is focused. The country is happy. I think that the landlords on them must have a little sympathy because they put a savings. So to go and raise the rent for rent. Some of them have 5, 6, 7 houses. Some of them in paying rent for their bills, some of them in paying rent. Go down right by the stadium there. Go right by the over there, whatever radio station there, and ask them where we money. These people we have to go after. You can't have 5 house, 10 house rented for 5,000 a month. Use a multi-millionaire. Use a millionaire. What is the problem? We're complaining about these gas stations and them. Look at anytime back. These gas stations and them. We're complaining about. What are you complaining about? Why are you making millions? Or you have big houses, or you're sleeping in wonderful vehicles, or you're feeling no backlash with $1 off the gas, or because the diesel is still high, the premium is still high. So oil supply to this country. All want to be making millions every year, and then came back to nobody, no community in this country. But we're coming after all you know. We're coming after all you know.
Yeah, we take it up. Yeah, blessings, man.
Yes.
All right, so thanks to everyone this morning, and do have a wonderful day, and we'll be back, God willing, tomorrow. Take care.
With us, Micah 6:8 says, He has shown you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justly, to love, have mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Your financial support through the first